Welcome to 'Cause We Can Farms. We are Heather and Kimmy. We met over 30 years ago in the United States Army and have been best friends ever since. Last year, we began setting posts for our DIY post and beam barn build. All of the materials so far for this barn have come off of my 73-acre property that I have up here in northern Idaho. We have cut these logs, we have milled these logs into beams, and have been able to start putting this barn up. As a disabled veteran, building this barn, putting this together has created a level of healing in me that I never thought that I would have. A few weeks ago, we had an entire group of other YouTubers come up, and almost all of them are veterans. And we had such an amazing day building and adding the first beams to this barn. Kimmy and I are continuing to work and get this barn finished, and so that next year we can open this up to veterans in our community to begin their journey healing also. Make sure that you like, subscribe, and share this video with other people that you believe that would love to follow the journey.
You'd have been proud of my tractor skills putting this one up. You'd have been like, yeah, that's my mom. In my pocket.
So what happened over there with that tractor?
Oh, it got stuck. I got the tractor stuck. There's a soft spot in the dirt, and so it just wants to like bury this side down. So we just left it last night. We were tired. We were done.
We're hoping today goes a lot more smoothly.
We are, except that we let the goats out. We all know what happens when we let the goats out. Hopefully they're just gonna stay over there and chew their grass.
So that way they have some free food. Free food's good.
Yeah, so I'm like super excited that our beam that we finished with actually stayed up because we did not put screws in it.
It's right there. Right there.
And so when I was standing here looking at it, it looks terrible. It looks like it's crooked and it's higher up than the other side. But when I went and stood on the hill over there and looked, it was perfect.
Perfect's good. We like perfect.
So we do need to put the level on it and see. I do think, though, that one does kind of look like it bows a little bit. Don't you think?
It totally does. That's why I was like, the level's going to be a little hard
and
to...
it also looks like it does this.
In case you guys don't know which one we're talking about, this guy right there. But
hold on. This.
She's going to jump and show you. Jump! Jump! Jump!
I have to jump with my back to you because my lady bump's getting away.
Oh, no.
So it's still not all the way on the post. We're going to bump it over that direction. And then, but I feel like I really want to kind of screw, I want to screw it in on that side, but we can't screw it in until we actually check for level. It does look like it does that. But it didn't look like it did that when it was down here, so I don't think it does. I think it's just that it looks that way. There's live edge on it. When we had it sitting down here, it seemed very straight.
Oh, so bright. So we got the grand boys today, her grandbabies. My, I would say they're my nephews, my grandnephews.
Yeah, grandnephews.
Anyways, so you will hear some chatter in the background, but they are here having fun and helping us as well today.
Pray for no fighting.
Right.
Or crying. There's no crying in barn building.
No crying in barn building.
Can I just throw this up there?
At least not on camera.
Your granny throw. Of course, if I threw it, we'd probably break it. And then it wouldn't actually give us level anymore.
And you guys would give us a really hard time.
Really hard time. By you guys, we mean that one guy, but... And I do want to reiterate, I love when you guys give us tips, because we don't know the tips until you give us the tips. In fact, we didn't bring any soap out, but a couple of people had mentioned putting soap or oil on the screws, and that they would go in better, so we'll go grab some of that, because I want to definitely give that a try.
We have a little bar oil. I can put some on my finger and rub it on there.
We do have bar oil, and that would work. Oh, we have the regular oil. We could just dip it in the cup.
Yeah.
But that's supposed to slick everything up so that they don't get stuck halfway.
Oil's
We had
amazing.
had a few of those that did that, but so don't not say give us those. We just like it when you give it to us kindly. I'm gonna start momming everybody. Now this is the polite way to say that. No, it's off a tiny bit. Pull the bottom out. Okay, so that's about that much. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the ladder over here. And then I'm going to start tapping it over to get it centered on this. And then start tapping it in this way, but I can hold it up there so it doesn't get tilted.
You crackers. There was still some in there.
So I think.
This is funny.
That top part has. So thanks guys for your well wishes. I'm actually getting past it and
I'm getting it.
good times.
Yes.
Hopefully this is our only cold that we get all season.
Prayers.
Very, very squinty. Okay, so I need the 4-pound hammer. I mean 4-pound hammer, Clint.
Not the 4-inch one.
Not
that
the
you
4-inch
suggested
one.
earlier.
Not 4 inches.
No.
You just have to tell them where you have to go.
No, your brain weighs 7 pounds.
The top one, they just have to
almost
know
a
where to
brain.
go, and it's right to it.
So I'm really hoping that that beam kind of straightens itself out. I have some ideas on how we could fix that bow, but if you know of anything, please let us know, because we haven't touched it as of yet and it's still bowed. So definitely leave us a tip if you've got one. This barn has basically been built with this ladder. I know that it worries everybody when we do things like this, like Kim is standing directly under the beam and I'm up on the ladder right next to the beam. But I think that basically you make an educated decision on what is safe for you, and then you do that. And what may not feel safe for someone else, I feel pretty comfortable up on this ladder, and you know, I don't like being jostled or whatever, so I do definitely make sure it's standing steady enough and all of those things. And I would love to have a lift. I would love to have scaffolding, but that's just not something that I have. And so we're building this with the things that we have, and it is coming together. So that's pretty exciting. Using the oil definitely worked, and all of these went right in all the way. So I do have a couple that we put in before we knew that tip. We're gonna have to go through and cut those off, but we'll just do that when we're up there working away, and we can use the grinder to get those off of there. Like I said before, these beams probably weigh about 300 pounds, and Kim and I are physically exhausted, but we are pushing through. We are bound and determined to get all of these beams up before the rain comes, and we have this last bit of absolutely beautiful weather before winter actually hits. I would say we have about a month left before some really cold weather comes in. The forecast is still saying end of November is when we should get our first snow. So the temperatures are definitely going to drop, and the more that we can get done when we have a beautiful week like this, the better. We have to tighten these two bolts. You did grab the Allen wrenches, right?
Yeah, they're right behind you.
I think so. I need another one more square headed one. These are the only two. Probably because I put that in my pocket. Not like you steal things. But these. Here it is!
Ah, good.
So this actually needs to have bolts on the other side, I feel like. Because this should not. That's one cut. Because I tightened these up last night before I put it away. So I knew I was starting with tightening. But I do think that made a nice cut still. And it's still a good cut. I mean, it's not perfect, but no, it's pretty good. I like it. So we have to hand carry this. And then I got to get the tractor in there. It's so hard. We have to get it past that. So when I lift it up, we're going to have to do that. So to get at an angle again.
Okay.
And then I'll get up over these. Well, you know I'm weak.
Well, you're getting over a sickness and I'm getting one, so.
Yeah.
The fact that we still can carry it is a feat in itself.
Right?
Go to goats! You're getting too close to the road. Go to goats! Go to goats! Go to goats!
Jenny. 73 acres. You don't need to go to the neighbor's house. Taking them baby fingers. So naughty. Alright. So I think I'm going to come in here and then try to turn here. And then do a give me 40 acres and I'll turn this right around. 7,000 little point turn.
What's the holdup, old lady? You're being slow.
Because it's so tippy right here, and I don't. It makes me. It scares me. I don't like it. I don't like tippy. So it takes me a bit. I want to come in sideways, but now we have that soft spot. So I think the only way I can go is this way, and I'm so afraid of the thing tipping.
Well, you know I'm more of a daredevil, so I could get it in the doors and then you could take over.
I agree. Yeah. Look how fast that was. I'm like, yes. Yeah, keep coming straight.
Oh. Okay.
I can do all the whole turns. Just keep coming straight. Might as well get it in the door. There we go.
There?
Yeah. I just don't know how that doesn't scare you. It makes me want to vomit. So yeah, I'll do all that sketchy ladder work, but a tilting tractor terrifies me. It also pretty much amazes me that we'll have one day that we only get one beam done. And then we'll have a day where we get a whole bunch done in that one particular day. We're spent the same amount of time out there. I think that is probably the most frustrating thing about building for me, because I am learning as I go, and you know, there's things that I just have to work through, and once I work through them, then I can quickly get through them. But there are so many firsts on this build for me, and you know, luckily we haven't had any injuries, and we've done really well, but there's so much potential here for somebody to get hurt, and our biggest goal is that nobody gets hurt on this build. So my grandbabies know not to come inside the barn when the tractor's moving, and you know, we keep just trying to figure this out.
I like your helmet.
Thank you. It's sexy and you know it.
You're good. You can come over this way.
I can't hear you. You have to yell.
You can come over this way a little bit.
Yeah, but I gotta get it in, and then I can go over.
Okay.
So I think I feel like I have to actually push it that way to bring it in over here, and then that's gonna. And I know I said that perseverance was the word of the day for yesterday, but it was also the word of the day for this beam. It just kept rolling backwards. We just have to lift it so high, and I have to tilt the forks to get it up high enough. And when you tilt the forks, then it wants, you know, gravity takes over and it wants to drop that back and, you know, not unlevel ground. All of those things were definitely working against us. And it was super frustrating. But again, the tractor made it way easier than it would have been if we would have had to do it by hand. Now, if I would have used regular trusses, then we would have been able to have the whole inside open. But the really cool thing about this barn are these big posts and big beams and all of those things, and it's built very much like they did back in the day. I have no idea how they got these up there, ropes and lots of people, because you can see that we're struggling so much with this. And I have to tell you, we spent probably 2 hours just on this one post, this one beam. And I definitely think that I would rather be physically exhausted than mentally exhausted. because when your mind gets in the way, that's when all the problems start happening. Physically, I know what I can do and what I can't do. For instance, right here, I absolutely cannot lift this beam up. It's not going to happen. So I have to figure out how to do it with the tractor. And then I get frustrated, and then, I start moving around too fast and all of those things. And, the amount of times that we went up and down with this was super frustrating. The key ended up being get it all the way to the top of the tips of the forks.
So you want to try a ramp?
That's the only thing I can think of. I'm tipping it too much. I have to tip it to get it up there. But it's tipped too much. That's making it roll. So I either have to get something that will make it not roll, which blocking here in front of it will do that. I could strap like a 4x4 on here.
Could we do
Or
little...
one of these pieces, strap it on here, and then it couldn't roll. It would have something to rest on, and then when I could let this go, and that would come down with it. Let's try that. Let's figure that out.
So this was my idea to get it to stop falling over. Because if I could get it up there and it not fall over, then I could actually tip it a little bit more and then it would get on there. But the key again, and I didn't do it here, was get that beam all the way to the end of the forks. Because that truly does give it a couple more inches, and I didn't do that. Now, I had a lot of people say, don't worry about your posts, don't worry about them being plumb. And I couldn't wrap my brain around that because I'm like, they have to be plumb in order for the building to stay up. But now that we've put all these together and saw it actually come together in the end, I completely understand what you guys were saying. So thank you for continuing to tell me that. Because as we were working here, I kept remembering and I kept saying, they said to just put it up because it'll all come together. And you were right, it did.
Well, that was scary.
I call bull on it. Absolute bull. Beep. It jumped that bad boy. They have to bring it down. I can't. 3 hours later, we made it. Now that was scary. That part was scary.
Yeah. That's a way to get it down.
Not the way I wanted to.
And that's what I mean by mentally getting worn out. I didn't slow down and bring that beam down, and it fell. And thankfully, everybody was completely out of the way. But sometimes we need that reminder. We need something like this to happen in order to remind us to be diligent of where are we standing, who's where, because things could just fall. And luckily, that's the only damage that happened, was that one board breaking, and we were able to re-brace it back up. And I think this might have been where I realized we just weren't far enough at the end of the tips. No, I'm still way far back. It is really nice having multiple people on the build site that can point things like that out when it's happening. You know, because this would have went up there if it had been on the tips. The biggest thing that we were looking for when we kept putting the level on there was that it was out of level the same amount. And that way, when everything straightened up, they would be plumb. And so that was our main concern there.
So that's awesome, but unfortunately I have some bad news.
What?
The camera died. The camera died, so they didn't get to see any of what just
It was
happened.
fantastic.
Look, guys. Look at that.
But Mom was going down. Dad was doing
It is all set in place.
Yeah.
Dad was doing this.
Okay, give me a second.
It was a bit of a challenge, but
That was a challenge. That was a hardcore challenge. And now you can really see how bowed the other one is.
yeah.
But man, we worked for that one. We worked hard for that one.
Yeah.
But that's our second beam in a row with a straight cut. And so I feel like we learned a whole lot. We had to block it. I don't know if the blocking is in there, but we had to block the thing so it wouldn't fall on the whatevers. And then I had to put it up and then shift the machine over and lift this up a tiny bit. And while Kim crawled underneath it, you guys, she was totally unsafe. That was just...
Don't tell on me.
It was underneath it?
I see.
Yeah.
Look at the shock and awe.
All right, so we're going to go up our noses so we can talk to you. I'm hungry. I don't know about the rest of you, but
Starving.
we did not get breakfast. A few Triscuits. What did you have?
Oh, they had a bag of Cheez-Its.
And
we did not get to share in the Cheez-Its.
And you had some dried fruit.
Yeah.
But so we are hungry. So we're going to take a little bit of break and get back at it.
All right.